Ramana Maharshi Center for Learning is a non-profit registered society working now for more than 4 decades in the areas of Indian heritage awareness.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. 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 Om. The topic is somewhat abstract. The present itself can stand for something to do with time, something to do with existence, and something to do with a gift. So, in my presentation, the weight is going to be towards the latter part, which is the presence. The present word itself, from a time perspective, is a part of the three, past, present, and future. And in itself seems to be containing the past because it says present, present. For that matter, even the word exist seems to be having the X in it, which seems to denote the past. So for the time being, my attempt would be to keep time out of it and concentrate on the being. Being is the same as presence. உள்ளதல உள்ள உணருள்ளதோ உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலர உள்ளத்தே உள்ளதால் உள்ளமெனும் உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலவன் உள்ளத்தே உள்ளபடி உள்ளதே உள்ளலுணர். This is the first verse, the Mangalam verse, the invocatory verse of Bhagavan's Ramanopanishad, which is called Ulladu Narpadu. All of you would know the background of Ulladu Narpadu. Bhagavan in his early days in the hills used to respond to requests from devotees who would come from far and near and ask him to summarize some treatise or explain some verse, etc. And he used to off and on oblige them by writing some verses in Tamil. Then later in 1922, when the great disciple Muruganar came, he started collecting some of these stray verses, got 21 of them together, and requested Bhagavan in his own way, saying, Bhagavan, For the sake of the devotees, I request you to compose a few more so that we can make it to a total of 40 verses. Because in Tamil literature, in Sangam literature, there is a background of writing sets of 40. Iniyavai, Narpadu, Inna, Narpadu, etc. are there. So if you can compose a few more, then we can compile it as Ulladu Narpadu. And such was, so dear was Muruganar to Bhagavan that he agreed. And in 1928, in about 20 days, he composed this Ulladu Narpadu. Of course, the existing 21 that were there, systematically, there were great disciples who were there around him, Muruganar, Ganapati Muni, etc. They were all partaking every day the great joy of the new verses that Bhagavan was composing. And side by side, they were removing the old verses, saying, Bhagavan, this can be kept for later, we can have something new, so that he can get something new as well. And therefore, practically brand new 40 verses were composed by Bhagavan. This is the first verse. Ulladala ulla unar ullado ulla porul ullalara ullatte ulladal ullamenum ulla porul ullalevan ullatte ullapadi ullade ullalunar. Rough translation. If there is not that which exists, will there be the cognizance that one exists? Since that existence, substance, devoid of thought, is in the heart, that existence, reality, truth, substance, which is termed as the heart, how is one to comprehend that? In the manner in which that abides in the heart, in that very manner abiding in the heart, being just that, is to comprehend that? No. A rough free verse translation. Let's try and think through this verse a bit. The second line talks about one's own one's own existence. So I exist. We know that we exist. I am present. You are present here. You know that you are present here. I know that I am present here. I know that I am present. Do I need any second-hand corroboration for the fact to know that I am present? No. I don't know. I don't need anybody else's corroboration. I know firsthand that I am present. How can I have the experience of my being present here, my being present in this body, my being present as an entity, unless in this body that I am in, there is an entity which has a presence. So there has to be some real entity which has a presence, because of which there is this experience of my being present, which I know that I am present. And that entity which has a presence in this body is not just present now when I am awake and talking to you. It is present when I am asleep and I am dreaming, when I am in a world which is, in a thought world which is different from what I perceive now, in a fancy world which I seem, when I get up, I think that was not real. But at that time it was quite real. So the same entity is present during the time, when I dream, as well as during that time when I am in deep sleep, of which I have no knowledge when I wake up, except that I feel good, but I have no real memory of what exactly I was going through at that point in time. So there is a real entity which is continuously present in this body of mine. Now, can that entity which is present be this body or any part thereof? Thinking through, one can say that that is not possible. Because for one thing, in this day and age, every single part seems to be transplantable. Whether it's total knee surgery or hip surgery or liver transplant or heart transplant or kidney transplant or any which part of the body seems to be something that hospitals are advertising, saying painlessly we can change it for you. Not to forget our monthly haircut that we go to, we don't bother about the hair that we cut. That said, that apart, scientifically they say that almost every 6 years or so, our body completely regenerates itself. That there's not a single cell that was there originally that remains there after 6 years. It is a new cell.